Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Stephanie paid Jada a visit as she was completing paperwork at the police station's interrogation room. Jada shrugged and said that Rafe will be going back to work shortly, and she was ready to move on from his area. Jada said, "I didn't mind being in charge, but I hated the reason for it." Recalling Jada's call regarding Everett, Stephanie stated she had wanted to thank her. Stephanie remarked, "I feel horrible for ever believing the things that he said he did in that suicide note, but I'm so relieved that it turns out he was innocent." Jada remarked, "I mean, we all believe those things, Steph." Jada said that she ought to have known better as a police officer. Stephanie remarked, "You sensed something wasn't quite right about his note." Jada nodded and explained that she had thought it unthinkable that the note could have been fabricated. But now, Connie lives in Bayview, where she should be, Jada remarked. Jada expressed regret for not breaking the news to Stephanie face-to-face. Stephanie mentioned that when Jada had called, Alex had been with her. Jada smirked and added, "You didn't tell me you two were spending time together again." Jada was reminded by Stephanie that she and Alex were neighbors and that they collaborated on Body and Soul. Stephanie denied that there was any awkwardness between her and Alex when Jada questioned. Stephanie emphasized, "We want to keep it that way, we're just friends now." Stephanie was questioned if she was sure by Jada. Although Stephanie acknowledged kissing Alex, Alex broke things up before they got too far along. "That's not like him," Jada remarked. Stephanie clarified that she didn't want to jeopardize their friendship because she and Alex were both moving on from their previous relationships. Stephanie was questioned by Jada how she felt about it. Although Stephanie claimed she didn't want to break their friendship, she had been having love thoughts about Alex. Admire B&B, Days, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right now, click this link. Stephanie remarked, "I just need to take a break from relationships in general." Stephanie groaned and informed Jada that she didn't want to occupy all of her time. Stephanie expressed her agreement with Jada's assurance that she would always be there for her. Jada remarked, "And as for you and Alex, I'm sure you'll figure it out." After giving Jada a final embrace, Stephanie headed for the set. Bonnie was shocked to learn about the modifications made to the Body and Soul script at the Brady pub. "You're eliminating me?" Bonnie cried out. "I promise it's nothing personal." Leo remarked, "We think you are an amazing actress." Bonnie questioned her dismissal, seeming confused. Leo clarified that the modification was mandated by the plot. The plot was predetermined. "What the hell?" "Hattie gave the order for this," Bonnie growled. Leo began to explain the complexity of the matter, but Bonnie cut him off by pointing out that Hattie had informed her of the ultimatum. "It's unbelievable that they gave in to your ridiculous demands." Hattie was scolded by Bonnie. "Sore loser, there's nothing outrageous about them." Hattie declared, "Charlemagne is the star of the show." Hattie observed that it was obvious the makers had put her pleasure ahead of Bonnie's. Bonnie referred to Leo and the producers as cowards for allowing Hattie to bully them. "Now that my husband is acting as my agent, he won't let you get away with this," Bonnie growled. After throwing the updated script at Leo, Bonnie turned to leave. Hattie told Leo that although she didn't think Bonnie was too responsible for her anger, Bonnie was to blame for being too tough to deal with. Hattie smiled and said, "Everything is going my way." Seth Burns, the hospital's director, told Kayla while she was at work in her office that he had chosen to turn down Kate's request to film scenes at the facility. Kayla remarked, "You were excited about this when we last spoke." Seth mentioned that the cost of the shoot was exorbitant due of the legal and insurance obligations. Kayla brought up the fact that the plan included insurance from the soap series. In response, Seth said that there was still the issue of the hospital's operations being disrupted. Kayla refuted this, pointing out that the 5th floor was empty. Kayla countered, "Our patients won't even know what's going on up there." Kayla brought up the fact that the TV show will assist reduce the hospital's deficit and that Seth had asked for creative budget solutions. Kayla remarked, "Body and soul might just save us." Admittedly, Seth had watched the show and didn't think it would help the hospital's reputation. Kayla shot back, "As far as the viewers are concerned, this will be Pineview Hospital." "I understand," replied Seth. Kayla inquired as to whether there were any more concerns. Seth eventually consented to allow the show to film at the hospital. "Under one proviso," declared Seth. Abe informed Kate in the square that he had discussed the show's new approach with Leo. "All right. That's it, then," Kate said. "Bonnie will hear the news soon," according to Abe. Kate inquired as to whether Abe was reconsidering taking the helm. Abe answered, "No, despite, a few headaches, I love what we're doing." Kate expressed her agreement and expressed concern at their lack of casting discrimination. "It's now concluded. And the choice had to be made when Hattie issued that ultimatum," according to Abe. "Hopefully it's the right one," Kate remarked. Kate reported to Abe what she had discussed with Alex and Chanel. "I understand that their argument has some validity, but I won't be asking Leo to rewrite anything," Kate declared. Abe concurred. Chanel and Alex told Johnny at the Body and Soul headquarters that Kate wouldn't take the romantic moment out of the screenplay. Kate commented that our disagreement just served to highlight the fact that we always have sparks between us. "Thus, it continues," Chanel declared. "I'm not sure I get it," Johnny remarked. Chanel added that Leo had not had time to make any more modifications to the screenplay because he had been working on substantial rewrites for Bonnie and Hattie. "Even though Alex, you, and I were against it," stated Johnny. "You two objected?" asked Alex. Chanel mentioned that Johnny had discussed it with Leo, but that Leo had declined to alter his behavior. "I would have assumed that they would have at least thought about a rewrite if we three had a problem with it," Johnny remarked. Alex concurred and pointed out that since Chanel was Johnny's wife, the problem was presumably more of a concern for Johnny than for anyone else. Johnny emphasized that he didn't object to the sex scene per se, rather, he took issue with how quickly the scene was included in the presentation. "It's a little bit more than that, in my opinion." "Correct? You have to feel uneasy about it," Alex remarked. Alex went on to say that he would not want to see someone flirt with the woman he was in love with. Johnny became so frustrated that he would no longer discuss the problem. "I want to help," Alex exclaimed. Alex recommended that they get a different filmmaker for the romantic moments. Johnny laughed at the thought. Chanel concurred that Johnny would be all right, despite Johnny's protests that he was a professional. Kayla informed Kate that Seth had given the go-ahead for the TV show to use the hospital, but only under certain restrictions. Seth entered the room and said that he will be playing Pineview Hospital's chief on the soap opera before Kayla had a chance to respond. Seth continued, "Meet Dr. Blake Ramaray." Kayla gave Kate a shy smile. Kayla said, "That's the only way I could get Seth to agree." Despite his lack of acting experience, Seth was excited to get started. Kate complimented Seth on his new role and smiled tightly.